Yo, yo, yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday, but it's a thirsty Thursday like no other. We got a little NFL action. The defending Super Bowl champs. You got Travis Kelce. You got Pat Mahomes. And, of course, Taylor Swift against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to get to see what King Henry's going to do. We're going to see a new offensive line for the Ravens. We got Kansas City Chiefs right now, minus 3 points. We're going to break down some gambling today. You know we're going to rock and we're going to fire. We're also going to not just stick up in the NFL, because you know I love the NFL. By the way, we have a football game tonight, NFL Ravens-Chiefs. Dope, dope, dope game. Don't freak out and look too far till Sunday, because you might miss something. Packers play the Eagles on the Strong Arm Network. Peacock at 3:30 tomorrow from Brazil. My boy Terry Davis loves going down to Brazil. I don't think he goes down there to watch footballs, but I know he goes down there to have some fun. Packers, Eagles tomorrow. So we got all kinds of mad NFL action. You know we're the home of the Ole Miss Rebels. You get to hear Ole Miss play MTSU. I don't care how many points, which I think is 42 right now. Ole Miss minus 42 against MTSU. Lane Kiffin's going to run that John up. They're going to score. They got very, very thin margin of error, the Rebels, and you look around the country, they know what they got to do. They're going to take care of business. We got Evie Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk. We're going to talk with her at 12 o'clock today. So we got Evie to break down everything. Lane Kiffin, Jackson Dart, Ole Miss Rebels. We are going to get I got Connor Dacus in here. Brian Dacus' brother. He goes to the University of Memphis still. And I am very pennied out. I'm very Tiger basketballed out. It's football time. You know what I mean? And by the way, it's also September. October's right around the corner. People who like baseball are still side-eyeing baseball like you wouldn't believe. And there's some great matchups over this weekend. So you're going to be side-eyeing a little baseball. You got the Yankees and the Cubs. You got the Dodgers and the Guardians that are going this weekend, not to mention all the great football. So it is not, for me at least, exciting to talk about what's going on. We talked about it extensively yesterday. More news keeps coming out. I'm sure everybody's been reading and keeping up with it. Only thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to ask Dacus in a minute, is we have Isaac Simpson at 11:30, so I'm going to let him expound on that for a minute. Then we're going to break down a bunch of college football, talked about the good Tiger team. That's their football team. And we're going to have a lot of fun. But on the front end, I would like to say this because I just think a lot of people probably think that I'm loving this. Because, I mean, if Connor heard me not too long ago, I absolutely – did you hear me today? I lost my mind?
No, I did not, John.
Okay, well, good. Well, I kind of – you could say I went really in. Little bit agitated with the, where the program was, the recruiting, all the BS. And then, of course, David Jones, right?
I do know David Jones.
You do?
Yes, I do.
And do you remember how he said, nah, man, I'm good, and just went to a little place?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That kind of set me a little bit crazy, okay? I'm like, damn. So I lost my mind and I went way in one day. But again, I'm a very emotional person. When I look at this situation and I just look at what's going on with the program, of course, the new blood they bring in with Ed Scott, all the firings, Austin Mignana to all them peeps, is Penny going to make it through this? I don't know. I can just tell you that I've been rooting for him. I've been wanting him to be so successful it's not even funny because I am a Penny fan. I know that, Memphis. Nobody else loves us, but we think it's the most beautiful land in the whole wide world. And we love our hoops here in this city. We love the Grizzlies. We love the Tigers. Right now, we're falling in love with the football. And you go from, JP to the Tubby to now Penny. Everything's been a little underwhelming. Not for a lack of trying, obviously. I mean, Penny's out there cheating. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. I appreciate it. Got to respect it. Just didn't get enough dubs. And it's every single year you're getting caught. You got to get better at cheating, brother. Like, come on now, bagmen. Rick Pitino can get caught giving hookers, really, not strippers, hookers, and still figure out a way to get a job and actually do very well and then get back to that. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I feel like more eyeballs would be on Rick. Coach Pitino, yo, what you doing over there? Every time he walks with a lady, she might be good looking. Somebody's probably thinking that's his next recruit's girl. But for real, I root for him. I want it to be successful. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm kind of curious what people at the university think. Because all the old heads, when you get a little bit older, let's be real, it is hard not to become a little bit pessimistic, if you know what I'm saying. It's hard not to be. Like, you have to fight every single day to look at the bright side. Because, damn it, life will beat you down. And it just, you just get a little jaded over the years. And all those things and hopes and wants and wishes, you kind of realize, like, hey, look, rainbows and pots of gold and fairy tales, they ain't real. I can't wiggle my nose and in platinum return. Just doesn't happen. Now, if I could have one wish, I think that's what it would be. Not even for a Tiger championship. Not platinum gold or platinum medal. Do you know what platinum is, by the way? How old are you?
I'm 21, but I do know what platinum is.
You do? I'm proud of you. Oh, buddy. You just have no idea how the world used to be an amazing spot.
Sounds great.
Especially right down the street, down Mount Moriah.
Sounds real good.
Oh, it was great. But I'm curious, the young folks, because you're one of them, what are they saying about the whole Penny situation?
I don't know what the young folks are saying, but I'm saying I'm about tired of it. It's getting ridiculous. It's every off season, every season. There's another big deal thing going on.
I think, you know what? I wouldn't care at all. I don't care about it. Again, the thing that really sucks about this, the academic situation is still confusing. I almost feel like, damn it, coaches need to just, like, not even touch that with a 10-foot pole because you ain't paid to teach nothing. Like, literally. The whole paying some kids. Man, again, before NIL, they were doing it anyway. You think there's a team in the SEC out? I mean, even Vanderbilt, I'm sure, paid somebody. I mean, damn. And look how many wins they get. But I don't know. The whole thing has got me just to a point to where I don't even want to think about basketball. And plus, I shouldn't have to. They don't have a game for 2 months. The only thing that does really suck about this timing is I was so excited about the schedule that they put up in the Maui Invitational. I'm thinking to myself, damn. Dan Hurley, Penny Hardaway on the sideline, little UConn, little Memphis. Like, that gets you excited. Now, I ain't worried about Slick Rick being gone. I'm not really worried about necessarily the coaching turnover. A lot of people are actually really worried about that. Penny turns over coaches all the time. And again, I don't even know if I could sit there and ever one time sit there and say, well, you know what? Memphis sure as hell outcoached that team. Feel like they've always gotten outcoached. But the kids go out there and they're performing a little tail off. And I will tell you right now, I just feel like I'm going to throw up. So guess what? It's a Thirsty Thursday. We don't even want to talk about Tiger basketball anymore because I just want to talk about the things that are going great in this world. And we're going to talk about making money. I've talked about it all week long. The Chiefs against the Ravens tonight. It's the first game of the year in the National Football League. And I'm not sitting there saying you shoot your whole load. You know what I mean? You don't rock, you don't fire, you don't spread all your cash and spend it in one spot. Except for maybe tonight. I'm not crazy. I took under 10.5 with the Ravens. Why did I go under 10.5 wins? This is a team that was the number one team in the NFC last year. Home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Todd Monken actually helped Baltimore develop a passing game. Problem is, the last game of the year, he forgot that they were the number one rushing team in the NFL. They abandoned their identity. The Chiefs won a very unlikely championship. Very down year for Kansas City's offense. Well, I think Kansas City's offense is going to be on the up and up. You still have Travis Kelce, one of the most reliable tight ends on planet Earth. They went out there and brought in a Hollywood Brown. Now, he's not going to play tonight. He's out. He's going to be out for a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like 3, 4, something like that.
Something like that.
I'm just saying they are trying to fix what the big issue was ever since they lost Tyreek Hill. That's their wide receiving core. You know, Rashee Rice, unfortunately, will not be there because he's on the commissioner's exempt list. And you're sitting there saying, John, why the hell you like Kansas City? Because I think X-Man out of Texas, Xavier Worthy, who went 4.240, is going to be dynamite. I remember Juju Smith-Schuster and how he never looked like an NFL wide receiver, except for when he played with Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And he had a good year, one damn good year in Pittsburgh. I like Juju with him. I like Justin Watson. I think Sky Moore is going to be fine. I mean, McCole Hardman's still on this team. Andy Reid is still calling plays, and the main thing is you got Pat Mahomes still the gun. Your offensive lineman, Creed Humphrey, one of the best centers in football. Joel Tooney. I mean, I feel like the offense is going to be actually better. I think the defense is going to be absolutely fine. L'Jarius Sneed, who's playing now this year in Tennessee, are they going to miss him? Heck yes, they are. But they got some young bucks back there. I think Kansas City at home, first game of the year, Super Bowl rings, flyovers, fans, it's going to be bananas. And you know what, Kansas City, do you think they're just sitting here feeling a whole bunch of pressure? Pat Mahomes has been to at least the AFC Championship every single year that he's starting. My man's got rings all over this joint. They're going for 3. Did you realize that?
I did realize that.
Like, that's insanity. As for the other team, that Baltimore, they finally paid their quarterback Lamar Jackson last year. And, buddy, let me just tell you something. That defensive front, which was so nasty, which held Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs to nada in the second half last year, I think it's going to look totally different up front. Totally different. Like when I say they went from the creme de la creme, they're now what you would call mid. Like even almost worse than mid. They're smalls. Do you know what smalls are?
No, I do not.
So like if you know what big buds are?
Yeah.
So like a big gigantic nugget. That's what the like Gorilla Glue number 4 was what like their defense was, the Ravens last year.
I got you, John.
Right now the little front 7 looks like a bunch of smalls, and I don't know if you know this, but man, you need some big nasties down there. You don't want a bunch of smalls. Like people just put smalls in them little 1 gram junts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't have that.
You ain't stopping Pat Mahomes with smalls. The linebacker, Patrick McQueen, gone. He's in Pittsburgh. I mean, Raekwon Smith is back. You got, of course, Kyle Hamilton, and those are 2 huge pieces. Kyle Van Noy. You got 3 big pieces, but I don't know if you know this. Safeties and linebackers, it's hard to tackle running backs when you're shedding blockers. Well, guess what? Offensive linemen get to the second level and start blocking linebackers and safeties when they ain't got to worry about a bunch of dudes up front, and they ain't got to worry about a bunch of dudes up front. Their defensive coordinator last year for the Baltimore Ravens, now head coach for the Seattle. I feel like you're about to see a totally different team. Everybody and their grandmother I've been talking to is just loving them some Baltimore Ravens, and it's a trap. It's the first game of the year. Dude, I looked all day long for red. Of course, I couldn't find it. But I do have a little bit of red on me in my shirt. And did you see that? I got a big doobie.
Oh, that's a great shirt, John.
Dope shirt. Because tonight is going down. The Chiefs are going to be chiefing all over the Ravens. They're going to feast. And again, I think if you can still get it, future Baltimore Ravens under 10.5 wins this season. Defense is going to be different. Everybody talks about Derrick Henry and how, oh my gosh, this running game is going to be unstoppable. They replaced 3 offensive linemen from last year. I just talked about the defensive front and what scares me. Your offensive line is not even close to what it was last year. I love Kansas City. Now, other things that I love, and I want you to think about this because this is going to sound some crazy because I'm doing a little parlay action. Go ahead and look at some of the early games this weekend for college that are very, very interesting, at least for me, that you know you're going to be like, I'm going to sit back here, I'm going to rock and fire, I'm going to play all day. You would think Texas, Michigan might be one of them. I look at that one. I don't know why I'm nervous. Like, I can't take listen, I have no idea how great Orgy is going to be. I'm hoping Orgy is awesome. I'm sure you know nothing about that. But Texas, Michigan, Big House, Ann Arbor. I mean, Michigan's still the defending champs, and yes, is everybody and their grandmother gone, including their coach? Yes. But that defensive front, that front four might just be as good as – might be the best defensive front four in all of football. Texas is going to be able to score the football, I think. It's just 7.5 is too large. If I had to touch it, I'm thinking about touching the total and doing the under 42.5. But that's not one of those games that just kind of really gets at me. And I'm like, yeah, I feel it. One that I just absolutely 100% feel, and you're going to think I'm crazy, is Auburn. Auburn, yeah, you heard that. So I've been killing Peyton Thorne all off season. He was terrible last year. He was terrible at Michigan State. I just didn't think he was a very good quarterback. And I'm not going to sit here after one game and say that he's a world beater, because who they beat last week? Was it Alabama A&M?
Yes.
The Aggies?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just preface. The Aggies are not elite. But I was watching a little Crane and Company, my buddy Jake Crane, who joins us on Monday. And I was kind of listening to them talk, and they were going through it. And they said a few things that really caught my eye, and they showed some dudes. And again, I know the Aggies don't have Travis Hunter out there playing cornerback. But I will tell you one thing. Auburn might have some of the best wide receivers in the country that nobody knows. They got speed and athleticism all over that field. I was impressed with USC's wide receivers when I watched the LSU game. Go back and watch a little bit of tape, and again, it's not against LSU's defense, but these dudes, you can tell these are some dudes. And guess who was getting the ball out really well and accurate? That'd be Peyton Thorne. Yeah, we keep talking about Hugh Freeze. Once he gets his quarterback, it's going to get filthy nasty. Yeah, I think down on the plains it's going to be fun when he gets his quarterback. But he's got one efficient enough, and he's got weapons around him, and he is a masterful play caller. And if you haven't paid any attention to his recruiting, the defensive side of the football for Auburn is going to be very solid unit. Do you know who Auburn plays this week?
Cal.
The Bears. Do you know do they care about football? I don't know who cares less about football, UCLA or Cal.
It's looking like UCLA right now. They're terrible.
They are terrible. They are terrible. But, man, let me just tell you a little something about this Cal team. They beat UC Davis in the opener 31-13, and I couldn't believe this. I had to check this out. Did you know that UC Davis actually outgained Cal?
I did not.
Basically, the only player Cal has is Jaden Ott, their running back. Auburn's going to be able to stop a one-dimensional team. And the other thing is I'm going to tell you right now, Hugh Freeze and those wide receivers are going to air it out often, all day, all night, minus 13. Give me that right now. I'm serious. I think I would be comfortable laying 20.5. I think this is at least 3-touchdown win for Auburn and Hugh Freeze. And then the other one I mentioned, Travis Hunter. Do you know that Nebraska, have you looked at the Nebraska situation?
I think Nebraska's awesome.
Dude, do you like Dylan?
I do.
He's kind of hard not to like, is he? I mean, he's kind of, you kind of look at him and you say to yourself, damn, I can see how this guy's going to be a stud.
Oh, yeah.
You can't say that they have the better quarterback because Shedeur Sanders has looked filthy. And I'm going to give him his props. Problem is Dylan plays. I mean, the problem for Shedeur is he plays behind Colorado's offensive line. And Colorado's offensive line is terrible. And I don't know if you know this, but my boy Dylan in Nebraska ain't the little kid from North Dakota State. Did you watch that team? That kid averaged 11 yards per attempt. Colorado, with Travis Hunter still being back there and Shiloh Sanders, their defense is still awful. Like, talking about how their defense was going to be improved today, and then you watch that first game and you just laugh at yourself and say, no way. Let me just tell you right now, a lot of people are going to be betting on Colorado because they like Coach Prime, they like Travis Hunter, they like Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, I think Travis Hunter is the most electric football player I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen anybody catch 3 touchdown passes in a game. 5 pass deflections, like 4 tackles. I mean, his stat line was ridiculous, and he was on the field the whole time. He's sick. Problem is they don't have 22 Travis Hunters. They got, talk about smalls, they got like the creme de la creme, and then they got like swag. Mexican dirt weed with sticks and stems. Pathetic. I don't like it. But I will tell you something that I love. I love football season. I like tailgating. I'm going to be down doing a little tailgating down in Oxford for MTSU. I was not able to go last week. Chas was sick. I'm nice. I did go and watch a little Memphis action, by the way. Are you proud of me?
Very proud.
First half only.
That's fine.
Free drinks, free fun, good football. But I'm going to be down there tailgating, and one of my things is like everybody loves to tailgate, and I want you to get your tailgate season started off the right way. We're going to give away a free tailgate package from Buster's Butcher. And you're thinking to yourself, John, Buster's Butcher? No, it's Buster's Liquor Store. Well, no, there's 2 liquor stores. There's a new one on Ridgeway Trace, so you were wrong. But yeah, Buster's Liquor Store, right next door, they have Buster's Butcher, and there's nothing like it. You go over to Buster's Butcher Shop, walk on in that bad boy. You don't even have to buy anything. Just register to win. It's at 199 South Highland Street. You can get a Camo Ice Mule soft cooler. And I said, what the heck is that? Well, camo is like, I guess, a color. It's like if you're going into Army, you're wearing camo. But it's in a mule soft cooler. So what you do is you put your cold beer in that bad boy. And instead of being that fat, soft, cushiony thing, this thing is slit. It looks good. It keeps your beer ice cold. They got 4 Yeti coasters. There's a $200 gift certificate. And there's going to be a whole bunch of Buster's branded swag. So go in there, 199 South Highland Street, register to win. We're going to announce the winner. It's a $500 value, by the way. No purchase necessary. Again, I'm going to announce the winner October 1st at 11 a.m. when I start the show. And again, while you're a Buster's Butcher, make sure you check out their quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. All perfect for fall tailgating. Buster's Butcher, like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com. Don't you dare touch the dial. We got Isaac Simpson. I'm going to let him dip his toes into the penny talk and the Tigers, and then it's straight football the rest of the day. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill and I buy houses.
Rich Eisen here. Join us for Westwood One's exclusive play-by-play coverage of the NFL kickoff from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will look for a different outcome from last year's AFC title game when they faced the now back-to-back Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call as we get the new season started on NFL Kickoff.
Right here on Sports 56.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. It cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in store. Now during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 or more information, visit jdpower.com/awards to find a store near you. Visit sleepnumber.com.
All right, sports fans, let's talk stats. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and of those men, many will experience bladder leaks. That's why DePend is partnering with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage getting screened. Because if caught early, prostate cancer is up to 99% treatable. I like those odds. DePend is also donating to prostate cancer research for select purchases now through November. Learn more at Depend.com. From September through November, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation. For Depend shields, guards, real fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour brought to you by Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland, where every cut is the right cut. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It's a thirsty Thursday. You know, it always has me thinking about some Tito's. Oh, man, the finest spirit around, crafted and distilled right here in the United States. Good old US of A vodka. It's crafted and distilled down in Austin, Texas. Tito Beverage came up with the recipe. He's like, man, I need it to be gluten-free. I'm just using corn. It's all 100% corn. He's like, man, I'm going to 6 times distill it. And then I'm going old school. And then I'm going to still it in classic copper pots in small batches. Then he taste tested and checked it and then taste tested again, shared with a few friends, and came up with the finest juice around. Telling you right now, there's no frills, there's no flavors, there's no fancy labels. It's just the good stuff. When you walk into your local watering hole, it's always Tito's. When you go home to your local liquor store, it's always Tito's. And if you're super, super smart, you can get a big old half-gallon of Tito's for $33. Bang, where? Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center, where the new Buster's is, or the original Gangster 199 South Highland Street. That's right there at Poplar Highland, the one you went to when you went to the University of Memphis. Check out that liquor store, grab your Tito's, and hey, go get you a T-bone steak or a porterhouse or a ribeye next door at Buster's Butcher as well. It is a thirsty Thursday. We're going to talk with my good buddy Isaac Simpson. You know him from the TigerSportsReport.com, Ethos Grizzlies. You know him because he joins me every single week. First and foremost, we got NFL football. Isaac, how you feeling on this very weird feeling Thursday when you look at the Tigers, you're like, eh. And then you look about the NFL and you're like, yes.
Yeah, man, definitely a lot going on, man, on a Thursday, man. NFL kicking off tonight with the Ravens and Chiefs. I think that's a great opening game, and I'm excited about that one. I think that's a game that could go either way. I think I'm going to roll with the Ravens tonight. I think the Ravens get the slight upset. I really don't think it's an upset. I think the Ravens are going to be really good this year, adding Derrick Henry to that backfield. So I'm excited about that game tonight, man. I think they're going to put a little money on the Ravens tonight, man. I think they pulled that upset. But, yeah, man, a lot going on, man. You talk about the Tigers, man. I think when it comes to the Tigers right now, I think it's better to talk about football, actually.
I am right there with you. And let me just tell you something. The one thing is like, I know Florida State getting beat twice has also given me a little extra juice. But watching the deadgum Tigers in the first half, and I know against a bunch of, little bitty guys, this offense could just be filthy this year. Filthy. Like, I feel like they could just rout Florida State on the 14th.
Yeah, man. Watching Florida State, man, that team is not good. DJU ain't it. I mean, it's just that football team is not good on either side of the ball, man. Their defense stinks, man. They can't stop anything. They can't get anything. They can't get any consistency on offense. They don't have any explosion offensively. Like, I think you watching this Memphis offense is definitely much better than what they got going on down there in Tallahassee, man. I feel much better about this game. I hate the fact that Florida State's 0-2, but that kind of, I think it puts Memphis in a situation now where they actually need to win this game. I think kind of going into the season, you kind of looked at it as, man, it would be great if they could go down there and get a win. But now I think this is a game that they should win. I mean, they're 1.5 point underdogs, and I think they're just giving credit to it's in Tallahassee. This is Florida State. This was supposed to be a top 10 team, even though they're 0-2. I think Memphis should be favored in this game. I really do feel that way.
I'm with you. Let me just tell you something. Again, we watched Florida State lose to the Nerds with Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck. I loved what they did, and you thought to yourself, wow, man, that offensive line for Georgia Tech is so legit. And then I watched Bill O'Brien's Boston College go out there and physically manhandle Florida State's front seven so bad that I almost felt bad. I was like, they were just gashing Florida State. Florida State can't run the football. They can't throw the football. They don't play that great defense. I'm telling you, man, I think that, by 1, 2 o'clock, on September 14th, I think this whole city is going to be turned up.
Yeah, man. And how are you feeling if you're Mike Norvell right now, man? That could be the funniest thing ever, man. If Memphis goes down there and beats them, I'm sure he never felt like that would be a situation that would be in his future. But, yeah, man, you go back to that game against Boston College, man, it wasn't even close. They were just dominating them, just gashing them over and over. They couldn't get a stop. I mean, they just couldn't – they had no answer. They were just getting beat up in the trenches. And I don't even know if that Boston College team is any good. Well, I guess we'll find out here in a couple of weeks. But man, I'm just kind of perplexed, man. I can't believe what I'm watching through 2 weeks with Florida State. But again, I think Memphis can go down there and beat this team. I think they should win the game. You watch this Memphis offense, man. We talked about this before. The weapons they had with Rock Taylor, with Comfley. You hate to see Sutton Smith go down. I think Greg DeRosier, transfer from UMass, is going to be a guy that's going to step up along with Mario Anderson and kind of take that second running back spot. And I think he's going to surprise some people. I had a touchdown, actually, on Saturday. I think this offense is going to be explosive. I think they can score points with anybody. My concern prior to watching Florida State these first 2 games was, could Memphis stop them defensively? I definitely don't have those worries anymore because that team, even they just can't. They don't have any explosion, man. They can't put anything together.
Well, they can't run the football because
they behind the chains
at all.
I mean, they have these, yeah.
And then DJU, you don't trust. You can tell Keon Coleman ain't walking out there. Johnny Wilson ain't walking out there. Like this Florida State team, it's amazing. Like the transfer portal giveth, but it also can taketh away.
Yeah.
If you have to replace basically everybody in your grandmother, it's probably not going to work out for you. And again, you can kind of look almost even at Colorado, 42 players from the transfer portal, and I just have to say, like they said that defense was fixed, that Warren Sapp had that bad boy fixed. No, I don't think that defense is fixed at all. So the transfer portal, it's tricky. It's if you can go out there and I think fine tune your team, it's perfect. But when you just got to go all in, you got to hit on all those guys.
Yeah, man, I think it's going to be a long year for Mike Norvell down there in Tallahassee, man. If they lose to Memphis, man, go 0-3, man, that's that's tough, man. Is he going to survive the year like that? If they go lose to Memphis and go 0-3, man, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough down there, man, because those fans are unforgiving. I mean, they're not going to put up with an 0-3 season because these fans had ideas that this is going to be a playoff team, and I think those dreams are already over with, man. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. So I'm really excited about that game, and we got to get through Troy first. The same thing Silverfield was preaching. He's like, I don't even want to talk about Florida State. Yeah, people were asking him about Florida State after the game. He said he's concentrating on Troy. And I think going into this Troy game, I think Memphis wins. I actually think they cover. My prediction is 38-17. I think they're like a 17.5-point favorite. I think last time I checked. So I think they cover. But I have a feeling this is going to be one of those games where
I got it right now. It looks like it moved up a little bit on you, Isaac. It's right now sitting at 18.5.
18.5, okay.
Yeah, you still feel comfortable laying 18.5?
Yeah, I think they cover it, but I have a feeling that it's going to be one of those games where even though they cover the spread, you're not going to come out of it feeling about, because I got a feeling that they might.
I don't think we're going to see anybody in the second half.
Yeah, because I think they're going to be kind of looking forward to Florida State. I think you could get a big lead, like you said, in Troy, because Troy is a solid team. I mean, they have some athletes on their team. Their quarterback, Goose Crowder, is athletic. He can get outside the pocket a little bit. That's something I'm going to be watching about this defensive front, because he can get out and run a little bit. And that's something that I guess if you look at DJU, that's probably their best offense. Probably when he tucks the ball and runs, that's probably the best thing they do, because when he's passing the ball, man, it's just not it. I mean, they just can't get anything going, because I had a bet on that game. I think I had Florida State, I can't remember, -7, I want to say, on the alternate line. And, man, I was just waiting all night. I was like, eventually this offense is going to click, man. It just never came.
Did.
Like, they just never could put a drive together, man. And every time Boston College got the ball, you're like, man, this time they're going to stop them. I got a feeling this run is coming, and they just kept gassing them, man. Run the ball down the throat. Every time, the next thing you know, they're in the red zone. every possession. So, man, that Florida State team, it's just crazy, man, to look at what that team was last year, to see how far they've fallen. But, again, I think they're just giving the being in a power conference credit with that 1.5. I really think Memphis is a better football team. Just watching them both through Memphis through one game, them through two games, I just feel like Memphis is a better football team top to bottom, and that's not being a homer or anything, man. I think that's real.
And I'm also going to remind, like, the one thing also, I had somebody send me, I can't remember who I was talking to, was going, man, Troy gave Nevada everything they wanted and some more. And I was like, yeah, and I know you're going to sit there and say SMU was favored by 27.5 points over Nevada. Well, Nevada played very well in that game. But if you look at that Troy defense, Nevada, who I think has got a very vanilla offense, they rushed for 214 yards. Like that, I mean, Memphis should be able, if they want to, just literally line up and run right downhill at Troy, keep that defense fresh, not show a whole lot, and get a very comfortable 21-point win.
Yeah, because a lot of people were upset with the Memphis running game and said they had some concerns coming out of that game against North Alabama. Memphis only rushed for 59 yards. Honestly, I really think Memphis didn't want to show a lot in that game. I don't think they really got probably past page 4 or 5 of the playbook. I think they were being very vanilla in that game, didn't want to show a lot. I'm not worried about that Memphis running game. I think Mario Anderson's going to be really good. Again, you hate to lose Sutton Smith. Hopefully he's able to come back at some point this year. Ryan Silverfield didn't seem too optimistic after the game. He said it's not good. They haven't really given an update on that, but the vibes that I'm getting and things that you're hearing, probably not a good situation. He might not be back this year, which sucks. But again, I think Greg DeRosier is the guy that's going to come in and surprise some people. I definitely think this team will be able to move the football with ease on Troy. I don't think they're going to be able to stop them. And again, the way Memphis can mix it up with the pass and the run, man, they're just going to keep teams off balance. I mean, you look at the way they spread the football around. I mean, Rock Taylor, 87 yards. Becomsley, 46 yards. Drake, 40. Bussy, 39. Brandon Doyle, backup tight end, 33. Lanfear, 29. I mean, they really spread the football around, man. I think that just shows you how dynamic this offense can be and how they're going to keep defenses on their toes, because you don't know where they're going with the football. Because, I mean, they just have so many playmakers all around the offense, man. It's just going to be hard to defend them, and I definitely don't think Troy's going to be able to do it on Saturday.
I'm talking with my good buddy Isaac Simpson. We do it every single Thursday. We're going to take our quick timeout because we still have so much to touch on. It's not even funny. Make sure, though, you give Isaac a follow at Isaac__NBA. Yeah, that's at Isaac_NBA. Give at Ethos Grizzlies a follow, too, and read his work at TigerSportsReport.com. Got to touch a little bit on the penny. Got to put a little finger, a little toe in the water, kind of get Isaac's opinion on that. Plus, I still got a few NFL questions for my friends, so don't you dare touch the dial back into Shake Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Country music singer-songwriter Kylie Morgan loves her ring from Genesis Diamonds.
If you own a business, you know Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. Luttrell has cost-effective belts, conveyor components, and 24/7 on-site service to keep you operating smoothly. Text or just a phone call away at 800-441-8946 or online at LuttrellBelting.com. Luttrell's Memphis plant stocks belting in nearly every size and finish, and if they don't have it, they'll make it. From ordering to selection, fabrication, and installation, your Luttrell sales rep is there for you. Luttrell Belting keeps you moving.
Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We're celebrating 40 years in Memphis since opening our doors in 1984. And we want to thank you, our loyal customers, with some throwback menu items and some throwback pricing. For a limited time only, dine inside at any of our 4 area locations and get a world-famous full slab of ribs with 4 sides for only $19.84. We are also bringing back our legendary barbecue shrimp for only $13.99. And you can even have them served on a bed of cheese grits for the best barbecue shrimp and grits anywhere in town.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour brought to you by Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland, where every cut is the right cut. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
I get no doubt, but I get over them. They're never gonna keep me down. I get no doubt.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday. Life is so good. We got NFL action back tonight, Ravens, Chiefs. And you know what? Our Tiger football team is flat out awesome. They're going to beat the brakes off of Troy. I'm fired up about that. We've been talking a little bit about that. Now we got to talk about a little basketball situation. And I will tell you right now, I'm excited to talk about basketball with Isaac Simpson. I mean, did you see our girl Caitlin Clark went triple-double last night? Like 24, 10, and 10, man. Like, damn, that girl's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. Now, I feel like, though, when I look at the University of Memphis right now, do you remember Siegfried and Roy?
I do.
If Penny was Siegfried or Roy, I think he'd be Roy right now, the one that got mauled by the Tiger. It's just not going that well for him right now. Isaac Simpson, is there anything positive that you can say about the basketball program other than their schedule looks pretty dope this year?
Man, I'm depressed about it, man. I must admit, man, it's just not, I don't even. It's almost unbelievable at this point that year after year, man. It just gets worse and worse. Like, I don't even know what to say right now. Like, the news came out that Faraji, Jamie Rosser, and Jermaine Johnson were going to be let go. A couple of days now, Jermaine Johnson is up in the air. It looks like he might remain on the staff. And then you get the bombshell that
Slick Rick's gone.
Red Stanberry is going to be out of here. Which I have been hearing a lot of talk about him, and Penny had a rift that he hadn't been in practice in a couple of weeks. But it was thought that he was still going to be back, and then that bombshell dropped. And it's just, I mean, right before, a couple of months before the season starts, a month and a half before the season starts, and you have this type of stuff going on, man. I don't even know what to say. And then you get the anonymous letter, that stuff coming out, and you got the Malcolm Dandridge situation still being investigated. I mean, I don't even know how you approach
feel
this
good
season.
about it.
Yeah, like I don't.
I just,
Go ahead, sorry.
it's like I know what you're saying, because again, that it's almost where it just this continues to happen, and you almost are like, figures. And the other thing, I guess, that what bothers me so much about this is, after David Jones, stated, in the NBA, we were like, oh, he's definitely coming back. Penny feels great about it. Well, then we got, that whole, smoke and rainbows blown up our keister about how, it's all about this year's team continuity and how we've been together all summer and we're all together and all together. And then, dude, like everybody gets axed 2 months right before we tip this Jun off. That's where you're just like, man, I don't believe anything anymore. I'm agitated. And the other thing is, I ain't mad about none of the cheating and the paying players. It's just you got to be better at it. And if he did cheat, how in the hell we only got one NCAA win? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and think about it, like you hit the nail on the head there when saying that everybody does this. It's just you're not going to run a semi-high-level program and get the type of players they get at Memphis, despite the lack of success that they've had, the type of players that you get at Memphis without doing some of this stuff. If you could open a window into pretty much any high major program in the country, you're going to find things they're doing illegal. But somehow Memphis continues to get caught. I don't know if that's just because they're under more scrutiny. It just feels like Memphis has always been in the crosshairs of the NCAA for years. So I don't know if it's that, but it just seems like they always seem to get caught. But I'm with you. Like, when it comes to Penny, he doesn't have to be doing this. That's why I always kind of give him credit for that, because I think he genuinely cares about these kids, cares about the city, cares about that program and that team winning for the city. And I think if he has done these things, it's just in the vein of him wanting this program to be successful.
The only thing that I have a problem with Penny, and the only thing I really do have a problem with Penny, is the results that happen on the court. And and again, if he's winning, when they get to 10 in the country last year, if everything didn't fall apart, I wouldn't give a damn right now. I'd be like, man, what you talking about? But with all the stuff, the not winning, sometimes feeling out coached, the body language from him, how he's kind of gotten so nonchalant about how, he like, I don't have to be here. Like, it just everything has kind of rubbed me now a little bit the wrong way. And then the academic fraud thing, like, I mean, some of the also other rumors that are kind of leaking out there. It sucks.
Yeah, man, they said that they were doing cash out payments. I mean, like, come on, man.
You got to know how to do this. Like, call up back in the day. How come, like, these universities don't call up old school bookies who are looking for a job right now? Because I don't know if you know this. They know how to run some stuff and keep it away from the IRS, let alone the NCAA.
Yeah, man, you talking? They talking about cash out payments. I'm like, come on, man. You got to be better than that. Like, I don't know what they got going on over there, but it's a mess. I mean, the NCAA said that Penny was presiding over basically just an out-of-control program, and with this stuff, more stuff comes out, man. It just seems like that's exactly what's going on over there. It's just a circus, and it's sad to see. And I mean, I don't know if we're looking at sanctions. That's the thing about it. You can't really get excited about this season. I feel like the team's going to be pretty good, but I mean, who's going to be on their staff? It was thought that he was going to be hiring Nolan Smith, former Louisville and Duke assistant. But who would want to come into this situation? I mean, that's a high-level assistant, a guy that's been in some high-level programs and is probably looking at being a head coach. Who's going to want to walk into this situation with everything up in the air like that? So I don't even know if that happens at this point. So it's just a mess, man, and I don't even know how you can really put any stock in the season. And one thing about it is Stansbury recruited pretty much everybody on his team
On
right
the
now.
team, yeah. He was
So are some of these guys going to circle back and transfer out? I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen at this point, man. And the letter thing is just crazy. The anonymous letter situation. I don't know what's going on with that. The Portland Memphis turned the letter into the NCAA themselves. So I don't know what's going to happen, man, out of this situation. It's just craziness, and it seems like a never-ending soap opera right now.
Like, I love a little reckless speculation sometimes, but this is probably not one of the times I need to recklessly speculate. But
I have some theories on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
the
got a few
situation as
theories
well,
myself, man. Damn. Well, you know what, man? We do have football. Troy's this week. We do have NFL action tonight. I did hear you say earlier that you like the Ravens. I'm leaning on the Chiefs a little bit. Reason I'm bringing this up for you is because do you know what scares me about this Baltimore team?
What's that?
The fact that they had to replace 3 offensive linemen from last year, 2 defensive linemen, and their best linebacker, and Patrick Queen. And that makes me just a little bit nervous. Your defensive coordinator's now the head coach at Seattle. I'm kind of curious to see if this just going to continue to be that well-oiled machine. I feel like that defensive front might get pushed around a little bit.
Man, I can see that. I'm kind of leaning into the championship hangover type deal. I just got a feeling that it's going to be, and it's expected to be kind of a high-scoring game. I got a feeling that it's not going to be that. I got a feeling it's going to be lower scoring than expected. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a super explosive game, first game of the season. I got a feeling it's going to go a little bit lower. I mean, I can see it going either way. Yeah, man, I just on that plus money, man. I just had to jump in.
Oh, I know what you mean, man. I'm all over the board. By the way, do got to ask you a couple of things about college football real quick. Looking at a few games ahead of the week, Nebraska -9. I don't know if I just must have lost my mind, but I feel like that is just like they are giving me free money. I watched Nebraska. Dylan is the villain. He is the real deal. I know Shedeur Sanders is probably right now the more polished and better quarterback, but Shedeur plays behind Colorado's offensive line. And sadly, Shedeur also plays on the Buffaloes, who have one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. Nebraska should be able to run right down their throat. I feel like Deion's boys get routed. I think this line is it should be at least 14.
I'm right there with you. When I saw that line come out, it was like a blinking red light for me. That's probably the one that stood out. You right there with me because that's probably the one that stood out for me the most for the week. That defense, I mean, can't stop anybody. I mean, they couldn't even do it against a FCS team. Well, I mean, what is Nebraska? You going on the road? That crowd's going to be fired up. I think they go down there and get their doors blown off. I'm with you because I don't think that team can stop anybody. They're definitely not going to be able to stop Nebraska from run the football. I think Nebraska probably wins that game by 3 touchdowns.
And then
I would probably take anything up to 14 easily. I mean, like I'm with you. I think 14 easy.
I love that one. And then I already have this. I'm not going to play it anymore. I got Tennessee -4.5 against NC State because I bet it early, like 3 weeks ago. That dang has gone to 9.5. I think Nico is the real deal, Holyfield. I think Tennessee routes NC State. And the other blowout game is I like Auburn against Cal. Cal has one player, and that's Jaden Ott, who can run the football. Auburn has got some great wide receivers I don't think a lot of people understand. And Hugh Freeze, he's going to get the best out of Peyton Thorne this year. I think they absolutely murder the Bears.
Yeah, I like both of those. I don't think they're going to Cal's going to be able to keep up with them. I definitely think Auburn routes them. But yeah, man, those are 2 picks. I like that pick, and again, I'm right there with you on Nebraska, man. I think that Colorado team is just bad. Their defense, they can score points. They're explosive. They're going to put points on the board, but it's going to be just like last year. I think they're going to have a lot of games where they score 30, 35 points, and the other gives up 50, and they lose the football game. I think that's what you're going to see a lot of from them because they can score. I think they'll be able to score with anybody, but they just can't stop anybody. And I just think Nebraska is just going to be able to run the football and throw the football all over the yard against them. I think that's going to be a route. So I think I'm with you on all 3 of those picks.
Isaac, tell everybody where they can find you, what you got coming down the pipe.
Yeah, man, I always eat those Grizzlies. They've been kind of slow right now, kind of the slow time. But again, man, things going to be ramping up here with training camp, so we're definitely going to be right back in there. check us out at Eat Those Grizzlies over there. Give us a like and a follow. TigerSportsReport.com, and you can find me on my regular X feed at Isaac_NBA.
Good luck tonight, big homie. Enjoy the football. We'll do it again next week.
Will do, man. Talk to you then.
That's my buddy, Isaac Simpson. Don't forget, again, it's that time of the year. Get your tailgate season going the right way. You could win a free tailgate package from Buster's Butcher. Just stop at 199 South Highland Street. Stop in a Buster's Butcher. Register to win. They're going to give a $200 gift certificate that you can use on meats and cheeses and all those fine foods. They got 4 Yeti coasters. They got a Camo Ice Mule soft cooler. And they got some Buster's branded swag. I'm telling you, stop on in. Again, the tailgate package is valued at over $500. There's no purchase necessary. 1 entry per person. The winner will be drawn at 10 a.m. on October 1st, and I will be announcing it at 11. And again, while you're at Buster's Butcher, check out their quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and so much more. All perfect for fall tailgating. Buster's Butcher, like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Evie Van Pelt, she's my sweetie. You know who she is. She's the founder, the publisher of the Rebel Walk. We're talking Ole Miss on the other side. Hotty toddy, right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Hi, it's the Herd. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your businesses, evolving your passions. They push what technology can do. So great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Hungry for that delicious smash burger flavor? Dyer's Cafe is the original smash burger since 1912 and still smashing burgers in Collier's historic town square. Come out for their lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. Ask about the world-famous split dog and authentic Chicago or New York dog. Try the leaner side of Dyer's with a grilled chicken sandwich or freshly made salad. Also serving Lakes, Delta-raised catfish, Pasquale's tamales, and a customer favorite, hand-breaded onion rings. Dyer's, serving world-famous burgers, dogs, and shakes in Collier's historic town square.
Memphis' original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
That was one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday. And while there are some Memphis fans who are just down in the dumps, kind of just a little bit tired, maybe a little Memphis football, I know. I get it. Trust me. It's terrible. It's exhausting. It's frustrating. Believe it or not, I'm so tired of reading about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to look at some great stuff. That's why I always go to the Rebel Walk. Because, man, everything over there right now is pushing up roses. Ole Miss looks good. Jackson Dart looks great. Lane Kiffin's life is beautiful. And everybody down in the SIP feels really good about this season. We're so lucky that we have Evie Van Pelt, the founder and the publisher of the Rebel Walk, to join us. What's up, Evie? How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm excited to be here, excited to be 1-0 for Ole Miss. And like you said, everything right now is pretty rosy. Might get a little tougher against Middle Tennessee, but...
No, stop it. You're so sweet to Middle Tennessee. It ain't going to happen. This is going to get ugly with a quickness.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think it could have been any more perfect than it was against Furman last Saturday, do you think?
Boy, what else can you ask Jackson Dart to do? The guy just has command of the offense right now. He looks so comfortable in his own shoes and his skin. He's checking at the line. I think there was at one point I saw him actually yawn and be like, oh, he threw a pass. It looked so easy. What, they dropped 76 on their face?
Yes, 76-0, and Dart played one half of football and was 22 for 27 with 445 total yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. So, he became the first SEC QB since Joe Burrow in 2019 to have more than 350 passing yards in a half. As he had 418 of those bad boys in the first half.
It's unbelievable. And by the way, he was hitting up everybody. I mean, he was just hitting up everybody. And that's the one thing that when I look at Ole Miss and you think of Lane Kiffin and quarterbacks, you look at the offensive line. It was Furman, so right now, I mean, they looked absolutely explosive. But they have so many weapons. It's crazy.
It really is. I think he hit 11 different receivers, John. So, you think about that. So Trey Harris had 179 yards, Caden Lee 78, Prescorn 77, Noreel White got in on the action 34, Aiden Williams. I mean, Juice Wells. Did you see Juice Wells' touchdown? I'm sure you did. Wasn't
61
that beautiful?
yards.
Yes, that was beautiful. And it seemed like so many passes. David and I went back and were rewatching the game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. It's perfect. It's just right there in his hands. So, I mean, Dart, I just think did a phenomenal job. I think he's in total command out there. What'd they drop? I think 772 total yards in the game.
It was absolutely filthy. The thing about it is like, remember when Jackson first came to Oxford? That first year was extremely shaky. I mean, I thought, honestly, Spencer Sanders was going to come in here from Oklahoma State, and he was going to take his job, and then Jackson was going to move on out. How wrong I was, for sure. And he has thrived. And I'm telling you, like Lane Kiffin almost – by bringing in Spencer Sanders, a guy who was a 4-year starter at Oklahoma State, a guy who was there for his 5th year and his final year to play some football, bring him in the spring and compete. I think it elevated his level of play. And then, of course, now that they went out there and got the portal and everybody you got brought back, I think Jackson Dart's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the country.
Oh, absolutely. We're big believers over here in my house in ESPN's total QBR metric. And David is a big believer in that. And Dart, I believe, in Power 4 teams is number 3 in the nation. And right now, his total QBR is sitting at 97.3.
Whoa.
And we've got Jalen Milroe 1 at 98.7, and then Penn State's Drew Allar at 98.3. But forgive me if I don't believe Drew Allar is a better quarterback than Jackson Dart, because I saw it with my own eyes in the Peach Bowl. So no offense to Drew, but I'm on the Jackson Dart / Lane train.
And we know that James Franklin and the Nittany Lions are going to have a whiteout this year at their place. They're going to get all fired up, and then they're going to fail on the field. That just happens
exactly
every deadgum year. And by the way, David Walker, I'm sure he knows a little bit about something playing quarterback. If you remember, he was a quarterback at Texas A&M. Before I get back right on the Ole Miss, though, I just was kind of curious. Was he disappointed in Mike Elko's debut for A&M?
I think probably every Aggie was. And I think it just, a lot of Aggies who were kind of on the fence when they hired Elko, like they thought maybe that's not the big name that they maybe thought that they should have gotten. I think a lot of Aggies were disappointed in that performance. And I tell you what, David, being a quarterback, I think was just shocked at Connor Wegman's performance. I think we just expected more.
The 4 games that he played last year, he looked like he was almost perfect. He was top 10 in QBR in those 4 games that he actually got to play in last year. And now he just was like, I was like, whoa.
Oh, I think he was. Yeah, I think he was almost last in QBR this game. So yeah, he really struggled against Notre Dame. And yeah, there's a lot of talk. I think he was sick during the game. I mean, I don't know if he was sick or he just. I don't know what, but he was throwing up. I mean, there was video of that.
I was throwing up watching him play, too, because I had money on him. I was like, oh, God, I'm whacking it. I bet on this guy.
Oh, gosh. Well, and they do have, some backup quarterbacks they could have put in. So I think some Aggies just kind of wondered, I mean, if he was sick and struggling, then let's put somebody else in. But anyway, all I can say is I was sure glad Jackson Dart was at the helm of Ole Miss.
Man, me too. Now, like when you look at the game and you see, who it was, and that's the one thing. But I'm kind of going for a little bit of a gambling angle. I kind of want to bring this. I look at Ole Miss's schedule, and I feel like there is kind of a small margin of it for error. I almost feel like every time Lane goes out there and plays one of these lesser thans, I feel like almost you can't make the line too high, especially with the way the offensive execution's been in the first game. I think they're going to go up there and just put up a mad amount of points. And let's not forget, Austin Simmons came in and didn't skip a beat.
Oh, no, he didn't. And it was really nice and fun listening to him after the game, and just say it was like a dream, just a dream to get to come out there, and your first collegiate pass was a touchdown to Caden Lee, really nice pass. And so for him to get to come out and play and do well, that was exciting to watch. And, what I thought was really cute was we actually got an opportunity this week to talk to Walter Nolan, and that was the first time we've been able to talk to him. We didn't get to talk to him any throughout fall camp or anything. So what was really cute for him, to me, was, he just commented. I mean, we think of him as big, number one transfer portal guy, whatever. And he said, I still feel like a little kid when it comes to the game. I'm just excited to be out there and get to play. And that was a direct quote. And I just thought that was really cool that, he's showing his love of the game, even though he's, number one pick all across the board. But he talked about that. And one other thing.
And I take it that article's up right now at the rebelwalk.com.
Yes, it is. Walter Nolan explains why he chose Ole Miss. One of the things he said, because obviously he played against Ole Miss at A&M the last couple of years. And he just said, just playing against them, seeing the family orientation that they've got around here. He just said, seeing how they support each other, even when things are going bad on the field, it just opened my eyes and showed me this was really the team I wanted to be at. So what a great answer that is. I really liked that.
I really do like that answer. I will also say, though, I've been paying, I'm on Ole Miss Twitter a whole lot, so, you saw a lot about some of the comments that maybe Quinshon Judkins made.
Oh, yes. I was hoping you would talk about that.
I was like, all right.
I was hoping. I had somebody message me and say, oh, ha, Quinshon got a good shot in. And I said, well, and I think I even replied to the guy on Twitter. I said, well, you really should read the comments in response to that, because there's a lot of truth in there. And I don't want to, impugn a kid at all, but there were, I think everybody at the end of the day, including Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart, were definitely okay with the way things worked out with Quinshon.
And
going
I'm
to Ohio
sure
State.
Ole Miss fans also remember the bowl game. It was a little bit testy, you could say.
Yes, it was a little bit testy, and I think that's the point at which when your quarterback, and this is absolutely the case, when your quarterback is not happy and wants the running back out of there because he's having issues with offensive linemen. I was really impressed with Dart for taking charge at that point. I mean, he was already the undisputed leader of that team, but that was huge. And I think that, you see by what all of them talk about when they come to the podium or you get a chance to talk to them and they talk about the family and the chemistry and the culture. And, man, if you don't fit in that, you got to go. So,
well,
bye.
Goodbye and enjoy and good luck. And I hope you have a wonderful season. Maybe we'll see you in the playoffs. And then that'd be absolutely wild, wouldn't it?
Oh, and, I'm wondering, somebody was asking, would the committee, kind of take that into account when they're making matchups? Ole Miss Ohio State would be a good one on a whole lot of different levels. And, I think Quinshawn, maybe, he splits time there at Ohio State. And I want to say maybe he had 13 carries for 55 yards. So, I think Ole Miss I think that Ole Miss defense would love the opportunity to play against him.
Evie, did you ever think to yourself, I was just sitting here thinking, like, when you first started the Rebel Walk, did you think that you would be sitting here in early September with the Rebels sitting at number 5 in the country?
Oh, the answer's no. I hope. But I tell you what, I covered Ole Miss through Hugh Freeze and escorts and probation and bowl bans and, just that NCAA investigation. I think that itself was a crime, what the NCAA did to Ole Miss and how long they dragged that out, to be honest. But yeah, with some rough times. And then with Matt Luke, who I love Matt Luke as a person, but that was, kind of a rough time. And so, and, I think even if you'll recall, there were some naysayers that didn't want Lane Kiffin. They thought he was too much of a wild card and this and that.
Also, a lot of people thought he was just coming to, drink a cup of coffee here before he took the Alabama job. Like, I remember a lot of people saying that.
Yes, absolutely. And I think for him to be in his 5th season just really speaks volumes. I think, of course, the Billy Napier situation and they're, delusional Florida people, I will say, who think that Lane Kiffin
I think that's insanity, yeah.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin is not, they're already sending, here's a flight from Gainesville to Oxford. And I'm like, just stop. It's just, again, like we say, I still feel like with Landry, his daughter, in Oxford, and with Knox coming there next year, if you're Lane Kiffin and you have a son, Knox Kiffin has some talent. You and I have looked at some of his, some of the tweets. Knox is talented, and I'm sorry if his only son moves to Oxford and is playing quarterback there, that man is not leaving. That man is not leaving. So anyway, I think thank goodness for his children is all I can say. But
goes back to the whole family again. And by the way, Lane Kiffin stays here at Ole Miss, gets the college football playoff. He'll be the mayor of Oxford.
Oh, he will. And I can't even imagine, backing the Brinks truck up because I just think that what a phenomenal job. I just feel like all across the board, I just don't know that anybody would have guessed that he would have made, culture such a big deal and just completely changed it. And the family orientation. We talked to a lot of recruits, and that's that's one of the very first things that they say is it felt like home to me. And they, I feel like it's a family there. So now this Last Dance season, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking fans need to be there for every single game because I think this is going to continue to be an epic season, and you only have so many opportunities to see these guys there in Vaught Hemingway.
Yeah,
and I'm already getting sad about it, so I got to stop that.
Yeah,
and
don't
just
worry
be
about
excited.
getting sad yet because you got to get excited because I still can't wait. You got Kentucky coming to the crib. I can't wait to see OU. When they come, there'll be
Georgia.
Oh God! Now I'm not as excited about the Georgia game. I'm still a little nervous. Like one of the things about Kirby Smart is like I've looked over at his career. He's 21-10 versus top 10 teams. Well, more than half of those losses came against Nick Saban.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's like Kirby is, he's the real deal. But man, I can't wait.
Yes.
Golly, that's November.
That's let's see. The Georgia game is November the 9th. Saturday, November the 9th. And you know what? I It's
That could
hard
be
to
a
know.
game day. That might be a game day in Oxford. Tell Katy Perry to come back down and eat some corn
Oh,
dogs
man.
and stuff.
She was some good luck. And I don't know what to say after LSU's game against USC. I don't really know what to say, but I still think, Ole Miss travels October 12th to Baton Rouge at night.
That's a scary place.
Yeah, they're tough. They're
Let me
tough
just
no
tell you
matter
right
what.
now, I will tell you, Garrett Nussmeier looked great.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't blame anything on the young man. I would say the LSU lacked discipline late in that football game.
Yes.
And some of the decision making from Brian Kelly, heck, some of the decision making Brian Kelly made after the game, banging the desk at the podium. I was like,
Now,
damn.
I mean, the memes on that are pretty funny already. But
Yeah, they are.
I wasn't really sure about that. He was mad at his team. He was mad at himself. He was just mad. I mean, I'm not exactly sure. But then, oh my gosh, I saw yesterday their running back, Tron Emery, tore his ACL. So he's out for the rest of the season. And I thought he looked fantastic. And I think this was his, if I'm not wrong, I think this might have been his first game back from injury last year. So bless his heart. I sure feel for him because he sure looked like he was doing a great job.
And
what about go ahead.
I was going to say the crazy thing about that USC, though, LSU game, I mean, you had, of course, LSU replacing Jaden Daniels. You had USC replacing Caleb Williams. Everybody's fired up for the Bears. Miller Moss and Garrett Nussmeier, both of those dudes look phenomenal. So, Lincoln Riley looks like he's got himself another dude. It's Brian Kelly. It's just a weird thing. Brian Kelly can never win the first game of the year.
Right. And then he comes back. He comes storming back. So, I guess we'll see. I was going to say, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin told us Wednesday in the coaches teleconference that he wants to focus more on the ground game this game, so they're coming up against Middle Tennessee State. So, I mean, we'll see if that actually happens. But, it's like, well, they had 243 yards rushing. And what about Matt Jones? I mean, I just love that kid. And he, I believe, led the team in rushing in the game. And he is a walk-on. I mean, he played for Jackson Prep and is a walk-on that Coach Kiffin specifically said.
The little bitty 5'7" dude?
Yes.
I didn't know he was a walk-on. That now I even like him more.
Oh, and it's Coach Kiffin said so he didn't play in any games this freshman season, 2021, walk-on, and then 2022 redshirt freshman, he got to appear in 4 games, and then it's amazing because Kiffin said this is a kid who has not just a walk-on. He has spent his entire time he's been down on, Kiffin calls it the service team, the scout team, I guess. He said he's just, that's where he's been, and he said, and he just gives it his all. I love kids like this. He could have transferred out, could have left. He said, but he just comes every day with the same attitude, and he worked his way, to where he got playing time, and he said, and he's earned himself some more. So good for, you just love to hear about a kid like that.
I love
just
stories
gives it
like
all
that.
regardless.
And just, and again, it's just kind of amazing when you think about the NIL transfer and you still have somebody who walks on and just going out there and playing in the SEC too. I mean, if you're going to walk on a program, damn.
Yeah. And he's just literally out there for the love of the game, I mean, I just think, I just think, he's played some special teams, but really just not much at all. And then I watched after he scored his touchdown, he came running over to the sidelines, and I mean, the look, he ran over to Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin looked joyful. That's the best word I could use. I told David, he looks joyful. He's so happy for that kid. And, again, you just love to see kids like that do well. Because you're right, in the age of NIL and money and how much am I going to get and whatever. Not that the Rebels are having any issues with that, but you just love to see a kid just playing because he loves it.
That is, I love that. Now, speaking of Lane Kiffin, he's got to love everything that he's seen on the offensive end of the football so far. Pete Golding's got to have a pretty big smile on his face, too, because it looks like there's a lot of depth.
Oh my gosh. I tell you what, they held them to 26 total rushing yards.
And I think
that's
one
amazing.
of them was honestly I think they got half. I think they got almost all of that on one run.
I think so. I think one of them had 19, 20 yards. I think you're right. Absolutely. I think one back had 20 yards. And so, yeah, that's really just pretty impressive to me. I think Ole Miss had 37 first downs and Furman had 8. I mean, it just, boy, they did a really good job there. The defense, they were fun to watch. They had 16 tackles for loss. 16 for 62 yards minus the easy yards. So that is fun. Those guys, my gosh, Walter Nolan and J.J. Pease and Jared Ivey and just the Princely Umami, the whole gang. It's just gonna be fun to watch.
I got to ask you actually a tough question. Since right now the Ole Miss schedule is kind of cupcake, you had Furman, you got MTSU, then they do go. They do have a road game against Wake Forest before they're back home against Georgia Southern. So September kind of feels a little bit like we're easing into it. But I got a tough question for you.
Okay.
Who's more important to Ole Miss right now, Lane Kiffin or Keith Carter?
Ooh. Good question. Because I kind of view them as a duo.
You got it. You can't have one without the other right now. It feels
one without the other. Really good question because I think Keith Carter is amazing at anticipating what's going to happen and being ready for it and having, making good contracts. And I think, Lane knows how important he is to Keith Carter and vice versa. I mean, man, that's a tough one.
I love how Keith stick to his convictions. Again, Lane Kiffin, that was a somewhat dangerous hire. Also, Chris Beard. There's things but when he makes his decision and he decides when he's not reading clippings, he's already done the work, and it feels like you kind of got to trust. If he puts his foot forward or trust somebody, you kind of got to trust him as well.
I believe that's absolutely the case, and I think that we're going to see, with basketball coming up and the class that Beard has brought in and the people around him that he has now assisting him. I think we're going to see, even more how that's going to work out. But it's funny because when Keith Carter hired Lane Kiffin, of course, one of the things that a lot of people said, well, he's just going to leave. We're just going to have him for, a year and he's going to leave. And like we say, here we are into our 5th year. And I do not think that we have him for a 5th year if we don't have Keith Carter. Now, that being said, I cannot imagine at this point, and I've thought about it off and on, I can't imagine a different head coach down there on the sidelines other than Lane Kiffin. I just can't even picture it. I don't know who it would be. He would have some pretty big shoes to fill, so he just needs to stick around for all of Knox's high school, and maybe somebody can talk Landry into going to grad school or something.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Work on that. You tell your daughter to work on that with her. But anyway, yeah, that was a tough question, and I can't see one without the other.
Evie, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and I can just tell you're feeling so much better, aren't you?
I am. I'm just, I can't even tell you, just especially in the last week or so. So I don't know if Ole Miss football has breathed life into me or what.
Definitely gave you a little extra juice.
Yes, it did. I got some extra juice. So you're absolutely right. And I just am so grateful to be here.
I'm so glad that you're doing well. I'm so glad the Rebels are just looking good offensively, defensively, and everything. Make sure everybody, though, keep your number one source. It's always the number one source. It's therebelwalk.com. It's your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information. Evie's the founder and the publisher. And thanks so much because you always join me on Thursday. And we're going to do it from here till the end of time, just rocking with the little Rebels, all right?
That's right. Thank you. As long as you'll have me.
I got you.
Blessed to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Have a good one. That is Evie. My goodness, I'm just feeling, I can't wait to get down in the Grove, eat a little something, and eat some food, have a little drink, go to the Walk of Champions, and then just, it's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be a great weekend because, the weekend's already starting. We got Ravens and the Chiefs tonight. You got the Packers and the Eagles tomorrow. And there's some college football tomorrow night as well. And don't you like a Friday night college football game, Mr. Connor Dacus?
I really like Duke versus Northwestern. Northwestern's favored. Duke looked real bad against Elon, but Northwestern, I think, is just never going to be good enough.
I agree with you. So many opportunities to make some money. We're going to make more money, but don't forget we got Hardwood on the other side. But I do need to remind you, I know I'm excited for all the football. I'm excited, but you got to still be responsible. And you need protection just like I need protection. And it doesn't matter if you're on the road or on the field. Get the best. Bob Simpson at State Farm can buckle you up with auto insurance, back your life up with health insurance, cover your business, whether it's starting, growing, or maturing. And, of course, don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today, 901-381-1233. That's 901-381-1233. Or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson. Going to give you a little wood on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Bricks Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Bricks Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Bricks can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Bricks Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Bricks Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or brickspowdercoating.com.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We're celebrating 40 years in Memphis since opening our doors in 1984, and we want to thank you, our loyal customers. Our new Barbecue Nachos Party Pack will be the hit of your party or tailgate. For only $40, Corky's makes it easy for you to feed 6 to 8 hungry barbecue fans our legendary barbecue nachos, loaded with our signature cheese dip, smoky barbecue, and all the toppings. Drive-through or takeout at any of our 4 Memphis area locations.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
But you got to be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday, and I'm thirsty for some wins, baby. I got that thirst trap thing going on. Dubs, dubs, dubs. Plus the Ravens and Chiefs tonight. Football, my goodness. I'm fired up. I'm in a great mood. I'm also I'm here to help all you people, by the way. And this is also going to help you just make your house better, a lot cooler. Like my house, I moved into it like a little over a year with my new crib out east, left the downtown area. And when I got out to the new place, you know what I'm saying? I looked at I was like, man, we need one of those automatic gates. Kind of makes it look good. It's more secure. You know, you just feel better about your stuff because I have like that separate garage that I've turned into a man cave that I party out there, you know, because like all the football and all the yelling and screaming that I do, it's good that I'm separated from the house because a lot of times I'd be kicked out of the house if I actually had to stay back there. But the way that the people that helped me the most were my friends over at Automatic Gates Construction. They tailored a custom gate for me. They'll tailor a custom gate for you. They do residential, commercial. They do industrial. I mean, they also take care of repairs, maintenance. They do the installation. They do it all. In fact, when I put up my gate at first and when I was done with it, they left and I was so proud of my gate. And then I let my dogs out and I have one little small one and she could slip through the little cracks. So I was like, damn. So you know what I did? I reached out to My Automatic Gates. They came back out there and they put these little bars on there. It even looks better. Again, they seamlessly blend security, aesthetic appeal right into your crib, making everything look absolutely beautiful. Go to myautomaticgates.com. That's myautomaticgates.com for your automatic gate solutions. Let's go to Hardinwood.
This is Access Hardinwood.
Can't believe I'm starting off with this story, buddy, but it's just kind of crazy. So remember how I was just talking to Evie about my guy who replaced Caleb Williams, Mr. Miller Moss? Dude was exceptional. 27 for 36, 378 yards, a big touchdown pass. USC storms back, beats LSU. Miller Moss is running off the field, screaming like a child, just happy, so joyous. Life couldn't be better. He gets to give the post-game interview. He sounds like the most mature kid in the whole wide world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, they always do. Like, they put their best foot forward. You know, I just want to thank my team. Just want to tell, the coaches, the fans. I just couldn't be here without you, Mom and Dad. Like, they always do something really, like they say something great.
That sounded exactly like Miller Moss.
Thank you. That was good. Well, right after that really, really, really big high, we find out who the real Miller Moss is. Do you know, will the real Miller Moss please stand up? So security footage has now been all over the X. The LA Times actually did a story about it. Like when I saw this I was thinking to myself, my man is just got off the high of his entire life. He just won everything. He's going back out to La La Land, like pulling a little Matt Leinart action. You know what I'm saying? Remember Matt Leinart back in the day?
I do.
Like dude was red carpet living. You know what I'm saying? Miller Moss is like, man, I'm about to go back here and start dating a Kardashian. Well, you might have to date Caitlyn because he's such a little child. Did you see the security video?
No.
Well, he's also now being investigated by USC, and there's like now a little dispute. So back in 2022, long time ago, 2 years ago, he had a roommate. Guess he didn't like him very much because in the video you can see him stealing his roommate's t-shirt, encouraging his friends to steal a jacket and some jeans and other things. And then, like, the guy's obviously not in the room, and then he goes over there and he rips a nasty fart on the kid's pillow and tries to encourage all of his friends to fart on his pillow. And I'm just thinking to myself, that dude went from the like every girl just goo goo gaga in love with to, damn it, he's gone. Like the only Kardashian he can get, you think, is probably Caitlyn?
Probably.
I mean, Kim Kardashian ain't gonna be dating like little dude farting on people's pillows, right? Oh, actually, she might. She did marry that guy, Chris Humphries. Terrible. But dude, I feel almost like I can't believe I'm saying this. I feel so bad for Miller Moss because, again, he was about to be the big man on campus, and now everybody, when they see him, they walk by him and they probably go, like, dude, every time somebody's walking by Miller Moss, they're doing a little. I would, like, everybody's going to be doing fart noises in the stand. You know, like how the Trojans used to do, like, their fights. You know, Florida State,
Yeah.
They're just going to, everybody's going to be ripping.
So there was a camera in the room?
Well, this is what was weird. So this is where I don't understand the security footage. Did the kid have, like, a camera going on in his room? Yes, it's in his room.
Maybe he stole before.
Oh, so the kid put up a little...
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Well, Miller did release this statement. I regret my actions that I took 2 years ago, and I have grown and learned from this matter. And my focus now is on being a better man in the season ahead. Fart boy. I really am still upset with that guy. Like, I mean, come on, man. Who should I be more upset with? LSU and Brian Kelly or Miller Moss?
I think winning's all that matters. I think you should be more upset with LSU.
You know who I'm most upset with today, actually? Alex Morgan. You won't believe this. She just announced this. She announced that she's retiring from the U.S. women's national team.
That's sad.
Did you know that she's probably the best-looking female soccer player in American history?
Of course.
Like, why didn't she pull her top off right after Brandy Chastain? Like, Brandy's famous because of her ripping her shirt off. If Alex Morgan would have pulled that thing, Lord have mercy. But this is the thing she also said. She's not just retiring. Then at the very bottom of her post after retiring, it says, and she's pregnant. She said she gave everything to the sport. And what she got back, she could never, ever repay. She lived every girl's dream. And now she's moving on to motherhood. That's a nightmare. Let me just tell you something. If you have sons, oh, goodness gracious. See, daughters are great. Like, daughters help raise you. Sons break you financially. You're going to know the judges in your town. You're the police. You're going to be bailing them out. Little boys sneak out all the time. The thing is, the kids still sneak out with all these security things. Like, I would be so mad about a Ring camera right now.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a lot harder.
But you little guys, like, are kind of little... y'all are a lot better at technology. Y'all should be able to hack some parent
turn off the
stuff.
Wi-Fi, something like that.
Like, do something like that. Like, y'all, because you can always figure out a way to outsmart your parents. We can't even work. I know I'm terrible with technology. I can talk in a microphone. I can do a couple things. But, like, man, if I couldn't talk to my remote control, I couldn't find the Peacock and all that stuff. But, man, Alex Morgan, congratulations. I miss you. You were my favorite soccer player of all time. Who's my favorite tennis player? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know, but I was here when the whatever tennis match was going on, and you were really into it.
I'm a big fan, man.
You're a big fan of tennis.
Big fan. I was going to say the most underrated clothing art. I think my favorite, no matter what, you could, like, wear, like, it could be like a Miss Universe pageant or whatever, and you got to wear an evening gown. I just prefer you in a tennis skirt. Most underrated article of clothing, I think, on planet Earth. But it's got to be a toss-up between Anna Kournikova and Maria Sharapova.
Oh, they're great. They're fantastic.
I mean, I don't know which one you pick. I just know that they might have been the greatest tennis players of all time. Well, do you know Meg Thee Stallion is?
I do.
She's the one with the rump shaker, right?
I'm not that into it.
No, but I mean, saying she's like everybody, like she's the one that charged $20,000 to touch her booty in Atlanta like a couple weeks ago, right?
Sure, whatever you say.
Well, you're the young one. You Google $20,000 to touch Meg Thee Stallion's butt, making sure that I'm giving her the proper credit. And by the way, I want to ask you a question. If you're just gonna touch the rump, you really gonna spend $20K? Like Stormy Daniels, after like she got famous in 2016 when she came to the Pony, only charges $100 to touch it and feel it and like take a picture, you know?
You are correct about the $20,000 to touch her butt.
I mean, that's insanity. Well, she's got money. And obviously, I guess if dudes are out there willing to pay it,
There's a lot of people who have money to waste. Let's just say that.
Man, call me up, bro. Man. Now, the reason I bring her up is because did you hear that she's remaking the We Will Rock You song, Queen, for the NFL?
No.
Yep. She's doing a little NFL kickoff anthem, and it's going to be like you know Queen, like Freddie Mercury, dude had Bucky Beaver teeth and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and he also died of AIDS.
Yeah.
That was back when, man. When
heard
I
about
was
that.
growing up, can me just tell you a little something? AIDS was scary, bro.
I bet it was.
Man, like we used to think you could like call somebody would call me. Oh, damn, man, get tested, scared to death. But anyway, when did oh yeah, Freddie Mercury's dead. Meg Thee Stallion, who charges $20,000 to touch her butt, is remaking one of the greatest songs of all time. But she's doing it for the NFL. I haven't heard it. I don't even know if she can sing. I just know I can't wait to see like what her rump looks like because I will be watching the NFL tonight. She will be doing this anthem. And I'm just like, I wonder if Travis Kelce is thinking to himself, because like if you like, he's with Taylor Swift. I always say, what does Travis Kelce do for a living? He catches 6. Touchdown is worth 6 points, right?
Yeah, that's
what
true.
he does. He catches 6s. Did you watch Catching Kelce?
I did not.
It was the dating show that he did. For some reason, they teamed him up with like 26s. And then now he's with a billionaire, but she's a solid 6 at best. So I'm kind of curious. After seeing, when I see Meg Thee Stallion, I'm wondering if she's going to be higher on a scale of like 7, 8, 9, 10. If she's going to be a higher scale than, Taylor Swift. And I mean, if she's doing a little rump shaking in Arrowhead tonight, we could be looking up at a breakup song from Taylor Swift. Travis Kelce starts dating Meg Thee Stallion. Reckless speculation now.
She's doing this live on the field?
I doubt it's live, man.
Okay,
They record
gotcha.
all these things. But I'm going to see it tonight during the game. I know we'll probably see Taylor Swift, too, in the game 20 times.
Oh, 100%.
25 times, you think? Dude, my man, you know like how good my life is? One, Tito sponsored the show, and they are my best friends. We're really tight. And by the way, it's a Thirsty Thursday, so I'm gonna go get me a little Tito's action right after work because I gotta get lubed up for the Ravens and the Chiefs tonight. So if you want to, make sure you stop by and get a little bit of Tito's. But also my life's good because, man, my buddy just brought me in a brand new, fresh Ole Miss hat for this Saturday because I'm going to be down in Oxford. But you can listen. If you can't make it to Oxford for the Ole Miss MTSU game, don't forget we are the home of the Ole Miss Rebels. And the pregame starts at 1 o'clock on Saturday right here on these airwaves. Now, I don't really have any other funny stories to get to. I mean, I have a couple that I really don't think I can touch on today because they're just, one, it'll take too long. I'll get way sideways. I'll get a little bit excited, and then that's not going to be good because I need more time on the other side because we are going to put together our complete parlay. We're putting it in. I'm going to tell you the payout, what you get back. So whatever you do, grab your pen, grab your paper, or pick up your damn phone and open up whatever app you got because we're making money on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, how's your French going? You can say,
Bobby facilite grandement l'apprentissage des nouvelles langues.
now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hungry for that delicious smash burger flavor? Dyer's Cafe is the original smash burger since 1912 and still smashing burgers in Collierville's historic town square. Come out for their lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. Ask about their world-famous split dog and authentic Chicago or New York dog. Try the leaner side of Dyer's with a grilled chicken sandwich or freshly made salad. Also serving Lakes, Delta-raised catfish, Pasquale's tamales, and a customer favorite, hand-breaded onion rings. Dyer's, serving world-famous burgers, dogs, and shakes in Collierville's historic town square.
There are jewelry stores, and then there's Genesis Diamonds, the cutting-edge industry leader, the pioneer. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and it's no secret that jewelry stores across America watch what Genesis is doing. Genesis was the first to offer a free lifetime warranty, the first to offer a 120% diamond upgrade guarantee, the first to offer aggressive long-term, zero-interest financing. And Genesis is always on the cutting edge of design and fashion. The styles other jewelers say are new and exciting. New and exciting for Genesis 3 or 4 years ago. Genesis has the fashion-forward brands other stores aren't even allowed to carry. It's no wonder you see jewelers from other stores going to Genesis to see what they're all about. For selection, quality, service, warranties, and guarantees, Genesis leads, others follow. So for diamonds, engagement rings, exclusive designer jewelry for any occasion, and luxury creative complexes, don't compromise. Get to the jewelry that set the industry standards year after year. Get to Genesis Diamonds on It's extended.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday. Yes, life is beautiful. I feel good. I feel like you probably look good. By the way, I'm looking pretty good today. Got me a new Ole Miss hat. Man, it's a fly hat, is it not?
It is a fantastic hat.
Ooh, and it's official. Ole Miss came straight from the team, all that stuff. Again, thank you, Hottie Toddy. Ole Miss Rebels, we are the home for the Ole Miss Network. You can hear them 1 o'clock this Saturday. The pregame starts. Kickoff is at 3:15, I believe. 3:15. I had to look at my buddy Connor. I know I'll be drunker than Cooter Brown in the Grove. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And you know what my eyes do in the Grove?
What do they do?
They get more work. They work out harder than I do ever at the gym or anywhere else. It's like left, right, up, down, left, right. Like it's like doing yoga for your eyes or Pilates or lifting weights or something. So excited. You know what else I'm excited about?
What are you excited about?
Sometimes on a thirsty Thursday, I'm going to need to get away. Do you know that I know the place to get away to, though? Getaway Sports Bar at Memphis, Tennessee. It's 24/7, 365. Don't tell anybody I told you that, but yeah, it really is. You can always pull up at 4632 Winchester Road. 4632 Winchester Road. You pull up on that bad boy, you walk in, coldest beer in town. You're going to notice real quick when you get in there that it's definitely a sports bar for you to get away. They got 15 monster televisions. Probably a total of about 25 televisions because they got a couple normal size ones, you know. Not everything can be big, but they also have six pool tables, 2 dartboards, and you know what golden tee is? Spin that joint. Do you use your thumbs? Do you use your hand? Do you go sideways? Are you straight? How do you play? I don't know. Head on over to Getaway Sports Bar, play a little golden tee, get really good bar grub, drink the coldest beer in town, and watch football wall to wall. If you're not going to be in Oxford this Saturday, get away to Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester Road. Now it's time for us to get away and make some dead-gum money. Now, Connor, I'm going to let you jump into this exercise if you feel like you would like to add something to it. But I will say, Chiefs money line right now, minus 115, since we're going parlay action. I hate If they won by a field goal and the field goal broke my parlay, I would cry. And right now, I got to lay 110 to lay 3. I'll lay 150 just to win. So we're definitely going to jump on the Chiefs. I already told you how important it is this week in college football. I think there are a couple games that are going to be just domination. One, it's Auburn. Auburn is playing Cal, and Cal people are really smart. It's 13.5 right now. Get it before it goes to 14 because it will. You're thinking to yourself, but John, Hugh Freeze still doesn't have his quarterback. Yeah, Peyton Thorne had never been good. But right now, even DJU would look good in this offense with those weapons. Anybody. You just get the ball in their hands, and against Cal Bear defense, please, they're going to score. They're going to score some more, and then they're going to score again. And I love Travis Hunter. I do. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I'm watching Nebraska, and I'm going to watch Nebraska score and run it up some more because I think they smoke Colorado. Currently, it's 7.5 minus the 105. I think they win easily 14 points. I think it's more like 21-point blowout. Now, if you didn't get Tennessee minus 4.5 early, that stinks. If you didn't get Tennessee when the line opened up this week at 7.5, that stinks. Did you know Tennessee has gone to 10 points currently right now at this moment, and it's minus 115?
I'm not surprised. They look great.
And boy, Grayson McCall didn't look too good, did he?
Not at all.
Nico Iamaleava is nasty. By the way, you proud of that?
I was very proud about that.
Let me tell you a little something. I've been practicing, I get in front of the mirror. I'm like, I'm just kidding. But this is so far what I got. I'm kind of curious. As we do have NFL action tomorrow, Packers and the Eagles, this is where I am struggling. I have no idea, and I feel like just throwing the Packers and the Eagles in there would just be foolish. The Packers were getting 3 points in Brazil. The line has gone down to now 2, so they're only getting back 2. So that means the Packers, just to win the game, is come back 110. I love me some Jordan Love. I'm still trying to figure out how Kellen and Saquon and Jalen Hurts and no Jason Kelsey and this Eagles offense are going to actually work. So we ain't touching it with a 10-foot pole, people. Don't touch it. 3-game parlay, plus 535. Drop a little 2 bones back on it, brings you back 1,070. You ready to rock?
I'm ready to rock.
I just fired. Hopefully you took that 3-gamer. Auburn minus 13.5. Nebraska minus 7.5. Chiefs on the money line. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Again, big thanks to Evie Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk, my buddy Isaac Simpson, and Connor Dacus. I'm John Harden. Get out there, make the world a better place. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.